Hey guys, how are you doing today? My name is Kenneth Stahl. Let's talk a little bit today about life. Big question, what is life all about? I want to try to explore this just now, just myself, just to kind of think about this for a little bit. Um, because it's like one day you're born, and the next day you wake up and you're like me and you're like 24. And, or you wake up one day and you're in your 30s and your 40s or whatever, and you're like, what am I doing? Like, what is the point of life? What is life all about, right? And I don't know if it's just me who thinks this, but, you know, I have to talk it out right now. I have to, like, think things through. So, what is life all about? Well, let's start with this. Life is about living. There is no point, you could say. You could say it's just about, you're alive, and that's it. The goal is just to stay alive, right? Survive, don't get killed. And you have this like hierarchy of needs, things that like we need, like food and shelter, and stuff like that. We need to protect ourselves from dangerous things. So yeah, a lot of life is just focused on don't get killed, like be careful, don't die, right? And maybe beyond that there is no point. But people always, want to be happy in life. And, there's this idea that happiness is what we're trying to achieve. We're trying to become happy. But here's the thing. The problem with that is when you make your life all about wanting to be happy. I mean, and anything less than being happy is not good enough. It's like there's no way possibly to maintain happiness all the time. That's just not how our minds work. We're not psychologically wired to be happy all the time. You're gonna be frustrated a lot of the time. You might be depressed a lot of the time. You might be angry or anxiety is just this constant fear, and it's like happiness is something that you can experience, but it's not a lasting thing. It doesn't. So I think it's important if you're focusing on happiness in life. I think it's important to realize, that happiness has a place, and certainly we all want to feel good. I think that feeling good is what we are all trying to do. Maybe you can't specifically define what happiness is or what feeling good is, but when you feel good versus when you feel bad. So I think that we're all, trying to feel better. We're trying to feel better than what we are right now. And I think that another way of putting it is in the context of suffering, right? If you experience some sort of suffering, whether it's physical pain or psychologically just, suffering in some way, maybe the goal is to escape that. It's just, I don't want to feel miserable, right? So I think that's one of the things that's driving people. So people are driven by a lot of things. And, maybe there's not a point to it. Maybe it's just our brains just pulling us in all these different directions. But, we have to spend our time doing something, right? You don't really have a choice about that. You can decide that you're not really chasing anything specific in life. But time is always going to pass. You're always just existing through time. So, in other words, if you choose not to do anything, you're just doing nothing. Um, and, this is a problem for me because I feel like I waste a lot of my time. I feel like I just don't do anything. I mean, a lot of times I'm sitting on the couch being entertained by what's on my TV, but, so it's not like I'm technically doing nothing, but a lot of times people don't feel good if they aren't striving and trying to achieve a goal, some sort of higher purpose, some sort of wanting to feel a sense of accomplishment. So here's the other thing that people try to do in life. We imagine a different scenario for ourselves in the future. We use our imagination to come up with goals, with what we want to do with our life, what we want our life to be, and we try our best to make that a reality. This is what goal setting is. This is it's trying to achieve something. So I think that that's a big part of it. And here's the thing: we can all have this idea. We can all have this idea of what we want, right? And that's really all it is. It's what you want. It's idealistically, what would you have your life be if it could be anything you wanted it to be, But the thing that we have to learn how to do is we have to understand what we are asking is what we are asking for, is it too idealistic and not realistic at all? Is it impossible to actually achieve what we have in our minds? And I think it's a problem that we have emotionally, to feel satisfied with life. When we raise the bar too high and we can't ever get there, we're setting ourselves up for disappointment, I think. So a big problem we have is trying to square, what we want with what is actually going to happen, and learn to be okay with things when they're not perfect. We're all a work in progress. Every one of us is not we're not perfect. We don't have everything go the way we want it to, right? And I think that you have to have this understanding that life beyond you, the world as it is, not everything is centered around you. You're not the center of the universe, and things are going on that are not in your control, and you can't be unhappy when things out of your control don't go your way, because it's not up to you. And I think that we all have to try to, become more aware of what is more realistic than, because you want things, and I think that's a big part of it, right? But that goes all into like, how do you spend your time, right? Because I think that we're driven by all these psychological forces, the desire for food and sex and all this sort of other stuff, this desire for, human connection. I think that's another big part of life that I haven't even mentioned yet, is the human connection part, which is relationships. So a big part of life is meeting people, forming bonds with them, relationships, friendships, marriages or whatever, right? I think that that's another big part of life. No, there's nothing that says that you have to like spend your life trying to meet people or having friends or whatever, but certainly like that provides us with meaning to be able to connect with others. And so it's like, how do you spend your time? You're driven by these forces that drive you to do these things, and then sometimes we just act out of habit. We don't even know why we're doing things. It's just kind of subconsciously. There's a lot of things that we do that we don't think about. They're just subconscious. That's the other thing. I think that what life is life is mental. There's a huge component of our life which is psychological. Your perception of reality is only what your perception is. It's how your brain filters it. It is, and you have this story of yourself that goes through your head where you think about, well, what was my life like since I was born? Then you think about all the big events that happened in your life. Like, well, when I was, a child, I had this traumatic experience, or, I was really happy the day that I graduated school and I was done with school and I became an adult. I remember the first time I drank, and you have all these like big events that kind of happened, and they set like a plot line for your life, like a story. And you have this story in your mind of who you are, and that might affect your life. And you also have this story of just what life is. You have these things in your mind that you determine what is going on, and you judge everything. You judge people, you judge the world. You might, you're trying to understand the world, you're trying to understand life, you're trying to understand the meaning of everything, and you're contemplating this stuff, you're thinking about it, you're in almost like a, I don't know, like a, you have, you're trying to know more. You're trying to know everything you can. So life is psychological in the sense that how you frame things definitely affects like how you experience yourself in relationship to the world and other people and things, and so it is psychological. Like a huge part of life is psychological, and that's why I'm so fascinated with the mental aspect of things, because if you can learn how to change your frame of mind and how you perceive things and how you perceive life, and if you change what you think life is all about, and if you change, little things about your mindset, you can change how you feel ultimately in life. And you can learn how to either be content with what you have, set more realistic goals for yourself, actually just understand what drives you and what motivates you, whether it's achieving things, connecting with people, and you can get in touch with your main motivational forces, and you can maybe affect those, or maybe you can work with them, or maybe it's like you can actually, if you're not happy with your life, if you feel like you're not doing enough with your time, you can try your best to like get somewhere. And I think that everybody's a work in progress, and I think that there's not necessarily like an answer to like what you have to do. There's nothing that says that you have to do anything, but a lot of stuff is your choice. Like if you can choose how you spend your time, you can choose what your life is about for you. You can choose what to do next in the story of your life. And I just want to say, if I can, I want to encourage you, to put more effort into making decisions in your life. Put more effort into thinking about who you are, what you're good at, what you could be doing, and spend more time asking yourself if what you're asking for, if what you desire out of your life, ask yourself if that is unreasonable. Ask yourself if perhaps your goals are set too high, and if you're constantly disappointed, constantly unsatisfied, if you're constantly let down by yourself not achieving enough, ask yourself if maybe you're asking too much. I want to just encourage you. I want to let you know that there is a potential for your life where things can be dramatically different. Not chasing happiness, but just always wanting to be better, right? You always want things to be better. You always want things to, at the very least, not get worse. You want to escape suffering. And I want to encourage you to pursue those things, to be as mentally prepared for things as you possibly can, to be more educated on not necessarily educated, I guess. That's probably the wrong word. But to think more critically and to I don't know. I'm in this position myself where I find myself either not happy with my life, or just wasting all this time, or feeling a lack of motivation, and I'm trying to regain that. And sometimes I just need somebody to tell me that I can do it, that I can keep moving forward, that I can, that I don't have to feel like life is meaningless and pointless, And I want to do that for other people, but it's not always easy for me because I don't always have the right things to say. So that's why I'm trying to do this right now, is because I want people to, I want other people to feel good. I want to feel good, and I want other people to feel good, and I want us to have a better sense of our place in this world, and how we choose to act and how we choose to treat people. And there's always things that can be improved. There's always, we're all a work in progress, and I think that's kind of the point, is we're never perfect, but we should always be aiming at whatever is up, whatever is better, whatever is good. And I don't really know what else to say. What is life about? Life is about what you make it to be. Life is about how you perceive things, your view on things. Life is about other people. For you, life is about you. And you can only control certain things. You can only control what you do, and other things are not in your control. That's why the easy thing to do is to say that, is to come up with some godly figure in our mind, some transcendent force to identify the universe as, to say that, okay, I'm going to surrender, what I want to do, and I'm going to surrender it to the universe or God or whatever, because that is everything else. That is everything that you don't understand. That is everything that there is that isn't you. And but you're a part of it. You are a part of everything. You are not everything, but you are certainly a part of everything. And what you do matters. What you do matters on reality. What you do matters for yourself. I'm getting so I'm getting so worn out and tired right now by trying to make sense of this. I should probably have stopped like 5 minutes ago. That was when I really... Yeah, alright, I'm done. I'm done. I should have quit talking like 5 minutes ago, but I tried to go deeper with it. I tried to go deeper, and the more I tried to go deeper, the more I realized that I was in too deep over my head. I don't know what I'm talking about, so I'm just going to let go right here. So thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, like the video, leave a comment what you think life is all about, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Take care. Wish you the best.